Hello, my name is Peyton and I work for the Lethbridge Public Library. I run the Joy of Cookbooks Club every second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. at the main branch. Since we're closed right now, I'm going to do some videos of what we would be talking about at our meeting. And so this month for April, our theme is cozy recipes. So for these, we're looking at cozy mysteries like Top Chef and the recipes that you find at the back of the book. So the recipe today that we're doing is called Lucy Burdette's Go Anywhere Granola. So Top Chef by Lucy Burdette. In the back of the book is the recipe for the Go Anywhere Granola. And if you have any recipes from your favorite cozy mysteries or any that you want to share, please comment below. Alright, so for the Go Anywhere Granola, first we're going to preheat our oven to 250 degrees. Alright, so that's going to take my oven 6 minutes to heat up. Then we need a bowl. So I have a nice big red bowl here for us. And we're going to mix in some ingredients. Now, there are amounts to measure out, but I bought these from Bulk Mart, and because of COVID-19 right now, they actually measured out my own ingredients, so they're far more accurate than I am. So they're already pre-measured for me, which I like. So the first thing is 4 cups of rolled oats. Sorry about that, kind of knocked my camera aside there, just too excited to eat this. And then we have 1 cup of slivered almonds. Then 1 cup of broken pecan pieces. Now, my mom taught me, she was in the States. It is called pecan and not pecan because a pecan is candy pecan. That's straight out of the southern states right there. So our 1 cup of broken pecan pieces. And then we have 3/4 cups of coconut. And they say unsweetened coconut. I actually don't have unsweetened coconut, so I'll be using sweetened coconut, which is better anyways, in my opinion. And this one I will be measuring out. That's 1/4 plus what's left in the bag. I need another 2/4 cups or 1/2 cup. One. People who say that you don't need math outside of school clearly have never baked. All right, next up we have 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, 2 tibs of dark brown sugar. I don't have dark brown sugar, so we're going to use regular brown sugar. So 1/4 cup plus 2 tibbles, 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. I like this granola recipe because it fits my cooking mantra of it doesn't have to be perfect. So you'll notice I'm not leveling off my measurements, or it doesn't say to pack the brown sugar, so that's not packed. But yeah, I very much guesstimate unless it's absolutely required to have the perfect measurement. So we're going to mix all of this together, all our nuts, our oatmeal, our sugar, our cocoa nut. Now the trick with recipes like this is to not eat as you make it. I was so bad as a child for eating cookie dough, as either my mother or I would make it. And then I'd have to have a cup of milk. You can't have cookies without milk. Alright, there's our mixed up beginning of the granola. And we're just going to set that to the side for a second. And then we are going to have a smaller bowl, a little green here, red and green. It's the middle of summer. Well, I wish, but with the snow on the ground, we all know early spring, aka late winter, is actually what's going on outside. So there's no purpose in the red and green coordination. Anywho, we are now going to combine syrup. So it calls for maple syrup, and it says use the real stuff, exclamation mark. So you know with that exclamation mark, they're being serious. But I don't buy anything I already have, and I have basic maple syrup. So it will do. And for this stuff, we need a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons again. So, liquid measuring cup. One 1/4 of a cup. You know, ish. And pour that in there. See, now when I was a kid, I'd ask to lick the measuring cup. I had a very big sweet tooth as a child. It hasn't completely gone away, but it's definitely changed after growing up. Okay, so 1/4 of a cup and 2 tablespoons. 1, 2-ish. I don't need the tablespoon again. That's good because I can soak it, because there's no way the syrup's going to come off easily. And then we need a 1/4 cup. So I need the liquid measuring thing again. Oh, that is my oven telling me it is ready to go, even if I'm not. So 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Now if you watched our video on the gazpacho or cold tomato soup, you may have bought the really good vegetable oil, and you can use it in this recipe too. It doesn't specify that this time, but chef's choice on vegetable oils. All right, and let's see, we had the maple syrup, we did the oil, so 3/4 teaspoons or 3/4 teaspoons of salt. One, 2, 3. All right, 3/4 teaspoons of salt. And we are going to combine it. You can see in the little picture that little ring there of olive oil and the salt just staying in the center. So we need to mix it together. And I'm using my little mini whisk here. We got it in one of those holiday crackers that you pop at New Year's with all the little toys. So this one's a little mini whisk. We also got a mini cheese grater. Super cute, but I don't see the purpose for the cheese grater, but the whisk works perfectly with things like this. So, you know, if you can plan your cracker prizes ahead of time, the little kitchen utensils are adorable and have a purpose. Okay, it's blending pretty good there. We'll just go a little bit longer. No warning about over mixing in this recipe, which is nice. And I can be extra sure that it is mixed well. All right, looks good. So let's bring back our nuts here. And we're gonna mix it in. Now when it comes to stuff like that where I have sticky and I have soft, usually what I'll do is I'll pour on a little bit and then I'll stop. And I'll give it a good mix. And then I'll pour on a little bit more. And the reason for this is because I find if you pour it on all at once, it doesn't mix as well. It'll all congeal into one spot, and we don't want that to happen. Now, you don't have to be an expert to cook or to apply some of these methods. So with the syrup that I'm adding partially, the reason I learned not to add it all at once was actually making Kraft Dinner as a kid. If I added all the cheese powder from the Kraft Dinner packet, then my cheese wouldn't spread on all my noodles and I'd get frustrated. So I learned to just put on like about a tablespoon of the cheese powder at a time, and then mix it in gradually. I was going to go with a smaller bowl, but then I thought about having to stir it, and I'm glad I decided on the bigger bowl, because although, you know, the smaller bowl would fit all of this, sometimes you want a bigger bowl just to make sure that you can stir it well without splashing it everywhere. And it smells so good with the maple, the brown sugar in there. Alright, so that, I thought it was going to be more sticky, but you know, every time you make a new recipe, you never really know what it's going to turn out. And that's the one thing about the cozy mystery recipes in the back of the book, is they don't come with pictures. So it's all in your mind about what it will turn out. And if you are looking for cozy food, I know one of Kate Carlisle's books in her Bibliophile Mystery series has stuffed French toast. That won't be something I make because I can't actually eat it, but if you want to try it, Kate Carlisle, stuffed French toast. So, let's put this to the side again, and we're going to grab our baking sheet. Now, if you watched one of the other videos, I mentioned that I reuse my, I'll use the 1/4 tisp twice instead of doing a half tisp if it saves me from cleaning another utensil. So, same goes with my cookie sheets. I will put down aluminum foil, wax paper, what have you, just so that I don't have to scrub really hard on my baking sheet. And so this is parchment paper that I'm putting down here. In the recipe, it says to spread it on baking trays, so I may have to grab a second tray here. It doesn't say anything about spraying the tray. It doesn't say anything about lining it, but this is personal preference. I like to line mine. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm just going to grab another sheet. And some more parchment paper. Let's put this on here. Still a little in the bowl. I'm just going to make sure I do it evenly. Add a little bit more to this one and a little bit more to my other one. Now it's just a bunch of little oatmeal flakes. Reminds me of those little grass seeds you see all over the sidewalk. Spread it here, spread it, spread it, spread it. Get right into those corners. Okay, so that's one. Bring my first tray back. Spread it around. I don't have a ton of counter space, so I like to use my stovetop as like a second counter. So it's really hard when the oven's preheating to do that, but we're gonna try. Give it a little tisp here. Try to scrape some of this off. You always want to clean your utensils as best you can, because that means you can eat more of it rather than wash it away. And yes, I probably will be licking this spoon afterwards because it's delicious and it doesn't have raw egg or anything else I need to be worried about in it. All right, our granola. Now, the next step is to bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes and stopping every 15 minutes to stir the mixture so it will be loose so that it browns evenly. And then we're going to let it cool. And you can add either cherries or raisins or, you know, dried up Saskatoons, dried blueberries, whatever you want for berries into the mixture. And then the last instruction it says is interesting. It says store in an airtight container, but don't expect it to last very long. And I wonder, I'm thinking personally, not because it's going to expire, but I think it says that because people really like it. It's not 100% clear, but it is what it says. The other 2 points that the author makes is that it freezes well and it can be served with milk or yogurt. So that's our granola. So we're going to put it in the oven. So for an hour and a half, which would be 5:45. So set your timer. And make sure to, make sure to mix it every 15 minutes and then just let it brown. So again, this recipe comes from Top Chef by Lucy Burdette, and it's part of our library collection. And April's theme is, for Joy Cookbooks, is Cozy Mysteries, or Cozy Recipes, sorry, that's found in Cozy Mysteries. So if you have a recipe you want to share, or even a Cozy Mystery series you want to share, feel free to comment below. Again, my name is Peyton. I work for the Lethbridge Public Library, and I do the Joy of Cookbook Club. And this is our video on how to make Go Anywhere granola. Thank you.